Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Vertigo, part of the X-Men Villains 5-pack, which I am reviewing separately, each of the 5 figures, so that it's not a huge long video. And this might be the most disappointing figure in the pack. Well, no, it's definitely not, because there's one that's even more. But this one is just, they use completely old parts, except for the head. And even that, it might be an old head, I can't quite tell. But it's all old body parts, which are the bad ones. They're the worst example of all of the parts that they chose, and they have new versions, pinless, double jointed elbow, better looking versions of all of these parts that they chose to not use. So I've just finished the whole review. It's basically a waste of time, but we'll get into it in a little bit of detail, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure stands to the top of her head about 6¼ inches. That's going to make her roughly 16 centimeters. Here she is up against Darwin. He is tall enough to be taller than her. She's about 0.9 Darwin's, give or take. Now I have to say, I give I give Hasbro some credit for getting the swirlies that they did put on her pretty good. I was not expecting them to do a good job, and they did a solid job. There's some overlap here and there's some gapping and not quite being aligned situations here and there, but overall it's really, really solid. Looks good. Should be a lot more swirly than this based on all of the images I've ever seen of the character, but it's definitely good enough. The paint job is okay, so I will give them that. But the body is the worst they could have chosen. It's the completely skinny, non-superhero, non-comic book. I always say superhero, but villains can be included in that because I just mean comic book. It has no shape to it at all. It looks horrible, and she's supposed to be relatively slender, but she still has shape, and this figure does not. It has none. And the hair is a nice sculpt. The face, I'm not in love with it. To me, that doesn't look like a comic book character. To me, that looks like a person in cosplay again. That looks like some 20-something girl who's trying to get attention at a convention. That's what that looks like. So, it's not working for me at all. Give them points for the paint. Hair is a good sculpt, but there's no wash in the hair. There's no shading on the body anywhere. There's no sculpt on the body anywhere that's worth looking at. So I'm going to give the aesthetic a 4 out of 10. Those 4 points are strictly for the paint and the hair. That's it. And then the paint is still just the swirlies, so not cool. I'll give them credit, I guess, too, which still falls within the 4. Like, the faces, now that they do this new style, I don't like the style, but they are clean. So if you like this style, then that's good. But I don't, personally. That's why I said it doesn't change the rating. Okay, so as far as accessories go, get ready for this. Get excited. We have the 2 open hands that come out in the package, and then 2 fist hands, and no effect part. Nothing. Not even the bubbles that they couldn't, like, they've given everyone bubbles at some point, I think. Nope, she gets no effect part. She is actually just a cosplayer at this point. You cannot have her expressing her abilities in any way on your display. So, that's not cool. So accessory-wise, 2 out of 10. She has 2 hands, spare hands, I'll give her that. Alright, now as far as articulation goes, we'll run it quickly, even though we've seen it all before, and a long time ago. The ball peg is basically useless. Her head can rotate around on it. Is there lollipop? There's still lollipop. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there. They still managed to do it. It's just that the hair comes down in such a way that you can't really use the neck articulation. You can use the hinge to break her neck because it's still a horrible situation, but if you just leave her like that, it looks okay. Shoulders come up just better than horizontal, so that is good. Full rotation, no problem there. No bicep swivel. You get a single jointed elbow that's just better than 90 degrees, and that's where you get your swivel right there. Very modern technology for these joints. Very advanced engineering for the articulation. That's sarcasm, by the way. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Diaphragm joint on this figure. It doesn't really go back very far. Leans forward a little bit, side to side, very, very little range, and some rotation. For the hips, they go out to the side relatively well. It's better than 45, I'll give it that. Going forward, it almost goes to horizontal, so that's fine. They do go back just a touch. Thigh swivel is your standard thigh swivel. Double jointed knee is okay, could be better. And then you have your ankle hinge, which is perfectly functional. No problems there. And you have an ankle rocker, which is pretty steep. So articulation's okay, other than the arms being the old style arms. The legs are okay. Torso's okay, neck is pretty crap. So I'll give it a 6. No, I'll give it a 5 for articulation. I'll give it a 5. Very disappointing, this release. It's not worth it. Like, they definitely snuck it in that box to give you a figure that would cost them almost nothing. That's... Final rating on this figure, 2 out of 10. It's not worth having. Question of the day, I don't know if I asked one earlier. Did anybody want Vertigo? I'm guessing some people do just to fill in some team spots here and there, but like... You have to buy a 5-pack to get this figure, and it's at least $25 per figure in the 5-pack. This is not a $25 figure. Get the heck out of here with that. No way. So yeah, 2 out of 10. Would not buy. I sure hope for those of you who want a Strife figure that they do a single card, because I'm telling you right now, that 5-pack is not worth buying. Alright, there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.